Good evening and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today's session. My name is Sumit Sharma and I'm the host and organizer at LinkedIn Local Bhilai, and currently I'm the session moderator of the session. So today we are presenting a workshop on psychology of sales in this uncertain COVID times. Uh, Before that, a short introduction about the LinkedIn Local Bhilai, what is all about. LinkedIn Local Bhilai is a place where LinkedIn's and local meet together or meet each other to inspire, to motivate, and to grow collectively. It's a organic meetup concept, and its main purpose is to build or unite people from all walks of life and get to network with the locals and visitors in our cities. Also to meet and learn from their subject point of view or their expertise in our panel discussions and webinars and many more. So we'll take some time to introduce our speaker. The speaker is Joydeep Ghosh, Mr. Joydeep Ghosh. He, 11 years of experience into training and development, having an exposure from institution set up to universities, then into power plants, manufacturing unit to corporates and CSR initiatives. He has addressed and trained corporate executives, leaders, student, entrepreneur, BFSI professionals, artists, and many more. His engagement has been with Hero Motorcorps, Tata AIG, L&T Microfinance, Reliance Jio Businesses, and many more. So, before we get things started, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If any question related to this session, please type them into the chat box or near below the YouTube chat box. So, without further ado, we'll turn time to Joydeep. Little before we get started, in common, the sales is the operation and activities involved in the promoting and selling goods and services. Now, uh, with this turning on to Joydeep, the first question which I want to ask you is, what is the ideal mindset of a salesperson? Over to you, sir.
Hi, Sumit. It was really nice meeting with all of you, and congratulations and thank you for getting me to this opportunity where I can speak to a masses. So basically, today's agenda was about there are a lot of opportunities into sales because every now and then I keep on meeting with this corporate people, with the people in the hierarchy, and they always tell me that Joydeep, we are searching for somebody who can really boost our business. We want good sales team, and we cannot find the sales people around. And the second thing that from the student side, because I do a lot of campus to corporate kind of things, so the second thing that I get from the students is like when who are into the verge of getting graduated and they want to keep their feet in this competitive world, which the leader Prater Drucker called the era of the three C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. So they are saying, sir, we want job, we are not getting placed, and there isn't a lot of opportunities. So it's a kind of a disagreement, this kind of a conflict where the corporate is saying that we are not getting good people, we want them into sales, we want to build a good sales team which can bring laurels to our company. At the same time, they are not finding people, and here the freshly graduates are in a dilemma about, and they are saying that we don't have got jobs. That means there is a disengagement, there is a misconjunction between the corporate and the students. And this particular session, which we have planned, Sumit, and thanks a lot for planning this session, is all about how can we make a marriage of both these things and can streamline the situation wherein people can get job, where the graduate, the freshly undergraduates and graduates can land up to a job where they can earn money and make a living, make a good living. And at the same time, we can also provide these companies with the sales force and with the right talent that is required. So the first question that you have asked is, what is the mindset of a salesperson? That's a very good question, Sumit, that you have brought. Well, Sumit, if you ask me, the mindset of a sales person, the mindset of a salesperson is very broad. It's like an ocean where he finds people all in and around him who wants that service, who wants that product, but somehow either they are not able to figure it out in this big industry, in this big ocean. And secondly, these people, the salespeople, the new graduates who are coming along, they don't know about how and what are the needs of that person. So they are not able to identify the needs, and people are not able to find them. So the basic mindset of a salesperson is, how can I make a difference in the living of the people? It's not about, the mindset is not about that I want to sell my services, I want to sell my commodities. No. The salesperson mindset should be, how can I make a positive shift in this life of this person? How? Not particularly from the point of view that he's having something that he wants to hand it over to him and get the chunk of money. No. The basic mindset of person is a servitude. But if I meet Sumit someday in the some part of his life, and how can I figure out the point, the area, the gray area of his life where he's struggling? And if I could help that person to get through that calamity, that challenge, sooner or later, if I give him, if I have a giver mindset, if I have lots of resources, not particularly the materialistic resources, I'm talking about something which is genuine, maybe a hint of a touch, a hint of a help that he can give him. And that is where that person starts thinking about, wow, this person has made a shift in my life, maybe how I could help him. And then the things come back. So this is the mindset, Sumit, a giver mindset.
Thank you, Joydeep. And then, what are the some what are the fundamental principles behind the sales?
Right. I would like to address this question by a slide. So shall I move forward with the slide? Do I have the permission, kind permission from you?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So you asked me about some of the principles, right? Some of the principles of sales. Is that the question that you have asked, Sumit? Am I right on that?
Yeah,
Okay. So the first principle that is very true in the field of sales is, you might have, Sumit, you might have heard of the mathematical term probability when you were into your 11th standard or 12th standard, I guess. Have you come across? Yeah, probability.
yeah,
So there is a law in probability which says that if you keep on increasing the number of attempts, the number of a certain favorable outcome that you want, and you want to get it bad, and you keep on increasing the number of trials, ultimately it brings you closer to your goal, to your favorable outcome. And that is what happens with us, Sumit. Well, if I could remember when I was into my sales career, when I started my sales career a decade before, uh, I would also always come to my mentor and I ask him, I'm not able to make the sales. People are not buying in. They are really very miser. They don't want to spend money, and somehow people are not buying my product, my services. That is why I used to say to my mentor, and my mentor always told me that, Joydeep, if you keep on meeting people, if you keep on meeting people regularly, somewhere in during that uh, confrontation, during that meeting, you will come across one or two people, one or two clients that will really shift your world upside down. And let me tell you, when I started on with my sales journey, I literally started meeting people when I heard of this of my mentor about this law of large number. I kept on meeting people. I kept on meeting people, kept on meeting people. People will just slam the door. They will not pick up my calls. They will not return back. And to all the students who are into their graduations and want to learn this particular technique of sales, just keep pay attention to my words, what I have to say. And the thing was, during my 25th or 26th trial, I got one person. His name was Ayush. And through that one person, I got references in and out, in and out, in and out. I started getting references one after the other, one after the other. And suddenly, the people whom he referred to started referring me. And then my sales volume started increasing, and within just a short period of time I was having more than 4,500 customers into my account. Wow, that was a big number, Sumit. I couldn't have imagined that single word of my mentor changed my sales journey. He said, the law of large number, he said, just keep on meeting people, keep on meeting people, and you will find one or two clients that will make 80% of your sales volume, who will create 80% of your sales volume. And that is what shifted my life, Sumit. If there is one principle I would like to tell you, and that principle is the law of large number. Just keep on maximizing the number of attempts, the number of meetings, the number of trials, the number of STP, what we call show the product, and then it happens. There's a second law, Sumit, though. I would like to add one more law to it, and it is known as the favorite. It was known as the biggest game changer in 50s, in 1950s. Sumit, you might have heard this before. I don't know. I'm not quite sure about it. But till 1954, there was a common belief that a person is not physically capable of running a mile in less than 4 minutes. Running 1 mile in less than 4 minutes. It has never happened. No one have heard of it. People have agreed upon this fact. It was a common belief of the person that a person cannot run 1 mile under 4 minutes. But this is what happened, Sumit. Roger Bannister came along in 1954, 6th of May, and he broke that barrier. He ran a mile under 4 minutes. And this is not the fact. This is not the thing that I'm trying to point on. I want to point on the fact, Sumit, and listen to it very carefully, Sumit. From that day onwards, since 1954, 6th May, more than 10,000 people have broke that barrier of 4 minutes, including high school kids. What changed, Sumit? What changed? There was a common belief. Someone came into the limelight, broke that barrier, and suddenly people starting that hey, if he could do this, I can do this. And that limiting self belief was broken by one person. People fall onto that. People started believing, and once they start believing, that barrier that was one of the strongest hurdle in front of the mankind broke apart. And from that day onwards, people have started running, and now you can see world famous Olympics like uh, Usain Bolt. They are so quick. Even they're very close to the speed of a cheetah. So this has happened because of that shift in the mindset that we call the law of limiting belief. The law of limiting belief says that if you shift the belief system that you can do it, from the belief system I can't do it, you start creating positive shifts, and you make. And there are so many sales targets that has been broken. And let me tell you, it's all because of that law, which is known as the 4 minute barrier by Roger Bannister. In fact, this is the statistics. If you can look at the screen, Sumit, May 6th, 1954, Roger Bannister broke this record. June 21st, 1954, John Landy do it, and then it keep on. They keep on breaking this record, and it's just the record till 1956, and since then onwards, we are about to touch a century. So just think of the people might have broken this record after 1956. And there are so many records, sales record that has been broken, and just one of the graduates who is about to get graduate, and if they are looking at me, if they are listening to me, if you are watching me at this point in time, I would just like to talk to those people who are looking, who are watching this presentation at this point in time. If there is any record, any sales record, anything that has been broken into the world of sales, if somebody has done it, you can do it. Thank you, Sumit, for asking this question.
Thank you, Joydeep. I think the reply or the answer to the question is quite perfect. And related to that, I want to ask one more that which attribute resides in the salesperson or the quality and the characteristic a person should possess?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly,
what do you?
exactly. These are the attributes you are talking about, the mental attributes and some of the skills as well. Here we are talking about attitude and we are talking about skills. So let us look forward to this question of yours. Some of the character traits that a noble salesperson must have is something that I just, if you have heard the answer to my first question, to your first question, rather, I should say, you asked me the question, and I always told you that how can I make a shift in others' people life? Maybe if I go on with my product, he or she may not be in need of this product. May happen. Either they don't have the money, either they don't need it, if either the person who you met is not having the authority to do that. But care for that customer. If if you can make him one of the persons in your contact, any point in time in your life, if you have given him something, if you are a giver, if you have given any sort of help, consultancy, suggestions, or any resource person is looking for at this point in time, maybe any of the things that he's going through that is in his personal or professional life, and if you helped him out with any of the resource person that you have in your contact, and you made a shift in his life, if you care for the customer, that is the first thing a salesperson must have as his character trait. The second thing is like take joy in their work. The third thing, if you look at it, find the harmony in the sales relationship. Fourth is having patience in closing up the deals, in closing up the sales. Be kind to the people, have high moral ethics. And this is something that has really played a very important shift in my life as when I was into sales and I was doing. In fact, everybody is a salesperson, and that is what we are going to cover forward. But then I was just thinking of one of the instances in my life. Uh, Having high moral ethics means no matter what, you are not going to lie, you are not going to cheat, you're not going to cover up something, conceal something, some of the information that you think if you are going to tell him, the person is going to say no to your services or your products. Never lie to a person. One of the instances in my life, and one of my very near and dear to me had a confrontation with one of the clients, and he sold out a wrong product to the right customer. He sold out a wrong product, and suddenly at this point in time he was not able to confront that person, he was not able to face him right forward. And one day in his life came when he directly went to that person and said, "See, I apologize for what I have done, but that was not intentional. I didn't do it deliberately. I was not knowing the fact, the information behind that product. I'm really sorry for you because it was a big loss. It is a big loss for you." And that person at that point in time said, "See, you have broken my trust. You have broken my trust, but today, when you accept this in front of me, now I think the time has come wherein I should forgive you." And that is what happened to us all the times. And lot many salespeople, they do keep the people in dark, and when they do it, and they do it deliberately, sooner or later they have to leave this career, because it's all about relationship. Sales is all about relationship. It's about to strike a string of friendship with somebody at some point in time when you meet him. Then the next thing is like being faithful to one's word, being fair in the sales, be self-controlled in the emotions, because you let me tell you a great part of the Bhagavad Gita, where Shri Krishna said to Arjun, Lord Shri Krishna said to Arjun, that you have to be complacent, you have to be as calm as an ocean there's no wave, when the ocean is calm. That kind of tenacity you must have. And let me tell you, you are going to get rejections. Let me tell you, it's not a goody thing that I tell you that, oh no, sales is very easy, it's a cakewalk for you, you will go, you will make sales, it will become a big success, you're going to get lots of incentives, you're going to buy that car, you're going to get that bungalow. No, no, no. Before that, before you get that car, before you get that bungalow, you are going to get lots of rejections on face, behind your face. And at that point in time, if you just l- get swayed away by these rejections, the game is closed, the game is over. So never, never, never be, very prone to rejections. Don't. Just start working. If there's no, take it head on with a smile, and then you will make it through. The next traits that I was talking about is there are some skills trait as well. If you look closely at this presentation in front of you, the slide in front of you, it says that close very work very closely with the marketing team. Whatever values you have set for you, whatever the marketing team is doing, just work very closely with the marketing team so that you can know their strategy. Second thing is always tell a story and don't just list the statistics. Stories connects. That, like when we are talking with each other, Sumit, and you might have seen me bringing so many anecdotes from my real life. It has, got ingrained in my speeches now, my delivery now, that whenever I speak, it comes automatically, because as a salesperson you must have lots of stories of your favorite customers being favorite to you. And then the third thing is like, you must always have a goal, a target, and you might have a target from your bosses, you might have a personal target of yours as well. But then just being very mindful of the targets, keeping the targets right in front of you is very important to be focused, because it's all about targets. Every quarter you have got a sales target, got to hit the target. If you don't do it, then you have to take that remainder as the carry forward, and then again the next quarter you have to work to get that target and the previous left outs. So it is very important. Then the fourth thing, I just told you that how I get to 4,500 customers when I just started on my session, with my career in sales, with the help of my mentor. Remember that point of the law of large number. And when I hit that number, I got a person, and from there onwards I got referrals. Start getting referrals. It's all about referrals. Sales is nothing short. You make somebody happy, he tells good about you to somebody else, and then he calls you up. you deliver the right product to him, and then he calls somebody else up, and it keep on building up from there. So referrals, taking the art of taking referrals. This was always my one of my favorite questions when I used to be into in sales. I always used to go, and people used to reject me very straightforward. They tell me, no, even you are a good person. I don't want to keep in the gray, but somehow or the other, I don't think that this is the right time for me to buy your product. I love you so much. I really respect you. You have been a phenomenal person with me. You have helped me so many times, but somewhere I'm not comfortable with the decision at this point in time, and I would like to postpone this decision. And that point in time, I said, okay, I really respect you and your decision as well, but just let me know who in your area of influence, in your area of circle, would be a good customer for me, would be the right customer for me. And then he would give me some references. I go to them, taking his reference, and people bought. And this has happened with me so many times. So if I say anything that has happened with me, that has helped me to even make positive impact from my rejections, from my failures, is the art of taking referrals, the way I just told you, Sumit. And maybe if in your career someday, Sumit, you if you come across a person who is saying no to you, don't get disheartened. Just try to find one next reference out of this person, or maybe five, or maybe 10, whatever number suits you. But please take references from that person, and you will see that what happened to me will happen to you as well, Sumit. So, Sumit, there are a couple of things apart from the taking referrals, that is having a passion towards what you do, being focused in solving the problems, and then listening more than you speak. Well, this point is very close to my heart, like solving a problem. Every time, Sumit, it used to happen that when I used to go to people, I meet them, I show them my product. I display the product in front of them, my services. I offer the services in front of them. I propose those things to them. And then people will say, okay, everything is good. Everything is fine. Your products and your services are the best. I agree with it. But then, and he will just raise an objection in front of me. And when that person raises this objection in front of me, and I used to answer it, and then he would come up with something else, and then he would come up with something else, and then something else follow, and it keep on going on and on and on and on. And finally, when I have just given answers to all his questions, that person would just start neglecting me, ignoring me. And to all the young learners and the young LinkedIn inners of Bhilai, and the people who are watching me at this point in time, objections are exactly not a genuine thing. Sometimes, most of the times, they are not the genuine problems. If you have got a problem solving approach built inside you, and you then I would say, okay, if this is the problem, and if I'm going to solve this problem, what would be your next step? Would you buy my services? Would you take my product? And at that point in time, I would realize that, oh no, this person is not having a genuine objections. The only thing that I keep on doing is making the relationship more deepen, more strengthening. And once I do that, my product starts ticking from there onwards. So that is what we should have, that problem solving skills. And you should be a great listener, just like you, Sumit. You have been listening to me patiently to all the things that I'm saying at this point in time, even though there are 100 things rolling inside your mind, but you are very focused in listening to me and learning and absorbing everything like a sponge. And this is what is required to be a successful salesperson, and to create a positive shifts in people's life and many more. Over to you, Sumit. I hope I answered your question. Your question is answered, I hope.
Thank you, Joydip. It's really a mm, Really a detailed answer to that question. So the characteristic, this characteristic that you told, uh, the person, salesperson should possess this, and with that, some of them have a myth that uh, myths related to this sales word. So what kind of it,
Sure, sure, sure.
please? Over to you.
Yeah, there are a lot of myths inside people. Like if you go and tell your father that I'm going to become one of the sales representatives of one of the company, and then your father would have a notion. He might have heard if he is into the conventional, the conservative thoughts of the 60s and 70s, that the people should have a clerical job, they should work from 9 to 5, and then they must have all the CLs and casual leaves and sick leaves, and every quarterly or every half yearly, or even in the big occasions, they must have that summer vacation and that winter vacations. People are festive here, right? And they, if they have that conservative thought, no way they are going to give, they are giving you the permission to get into sales, even if you want to, and ask the permission from your parents. So there has been a lot many instances in people's life that has really made them bitter, right? So they have gone so much into retention because of what has happened to them, or if it has not happened to them, Sumit, it might have hurt in somewhere in their vicinity, somewhere in their acquaintances. They might have had this kind of thing, and once they have told them about their story, about their sad story, they started buying into it. They started buying into it. And once that has happened, there are a lot of myths in and around sales. Like if you give me an opportunity to burst this myth, the first myth is sales is a tough job. People say, oh, sales is very tough job. Tough in the sense because people give you targets, and when your bosses, when your superiors gives you a target, and if you have underperformed or you have averagely performed at that point in time, sure enough, they are paying you heavy bucks, right? They are paying you salary, they are paying for your expenses, your different thing, and uh, people have for making positive shifts in their revenue. So they have a standard set in front of you, and they set that in standard as the target in front of you. And once you are not done with the target, I guess if you have got targets in your life, I think it's always a hustle and bustle in your life. But the good thing is, like, if there are targets, then there are ways to achieve it. We just have to be resourceful enough. We just have to have that resourcefulness inside of us. The second myth in people's mind, and people would say that I'm not a born salesman. I'm not an I cannot sell this com to a bald head person, right? So they have that kind of a notion. Now, there is nothing like a born salesperson. We are all into sales. See, just for a second, Sumit, if you have seen some small kids in the shopping mall, maybe near Magneto Mall, if or the D Mart that you have come across near your vicinity at Raipur, you'll find small kids, Sumit, convincing, persuading their parents to get that chocolate, to get that candy, to get that toy, and they keep on convincing them. Suddenly we started, you start getting into your schools, you are into your teenage, then you start persuading your parents to get you a scooty, an Activa, or a Pulsar, and then suddenly you find something very interesting, a very interesting career. And as we all know that all the parents in India, in and out India, I don't know about the foreign what they think about it, but in India they think you can be only be successful if you can become three things: an engineer, a doctor, or a chartered accountant. They cannot think more than that. So the thing is, like, when you are getting back to your question, Sumit, every time in our life we are selling, we are selling, we are selling. We are inborn. We have got that inborn instinct to get something from our parents, from our mamas, from our chachas, from our maternal uncle, from our paternal uncle. That just we want things, resources in our life, and you keep on finding ways to persuade our parents, to persuade our near and dears to get that thing from right from the childhood. Am I talking right, Sumit? Have you seen small kids persuading their parents in a shopping mall?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
it's there inside of us. We are already having that inherent qualities. So, what we do in an interview, we sell ourselves, we sell our skills, our talents, we sell our times, and we are very confident in that, right? So, I don't think that there's something like a born sales person. Always in our life, we keep on, we keep on evaluating ourselves in the field of evolution, and when we are evaluating at that point in time we are already having all those skills that is required. The third myth that people do have is that I don't like to flatter people. They always says that I don't like to flatter people. So it's not about flattering. It's not at all flattering. People can sense that. The only thing you can do as a person to impress somebody is just by helping him or how to get to his goals. Everybody has goal. Everybody. A rickshaw puller has a goal. A saloon runner, a barber has his goal. Everybody has this goal. Everybody is right from the top sportsmen, the top actors and actresses, to a common people, to a rickshaw puller. Everybody is running behind some or the other thing. They have their target set. Some might have a target of 200 rupees per day. Some might have 200 per day. It totally depends on the person. And now your job is how you can help him to meet his target. If you're able to do that, you're going to impress that person without any hint of doubt. I'm telling you, you will do that. The only thing is like that, having that mindset of giving, of a giver mindset, something making a positive shift in his life or helping him out of that is where you come, and that is where you impress people by your deeds, not by your just by saying or anything. The next thing is like people don't like salesperson. People, they have a myth that people don't like people in sales. Okay, that has happened. I agreed, but not every person is the same person. I mean, you don't look same. You don't like the same car. You don't like the same restaurant that I like. Everybody has different. So that every salesperson is different. I guess when we go get more and more ethical people into sales, this myth is going to get busted itself. Once you make a positive shift in people's life, I think you're done. Now the next thing is like I don't like talking too much. Yeah, it's okay. It's not about talking. It's about listening. Sales is all about listening. So this myth is busted on completely. We have just blown it out because just before a couple of slides, we have spoken about that it's all about listening. If you listen actively to people, you are going to make your own way through. Next is like sales are cheater. Yes, people do believe it because it has happened with them. People have cheated them. People have befooled them. They have taken advantage of them. They have concealed some of the other information that was not right, that was not true, that was not ethical. Yes, people have done this, and that is where you as a graduate or as a person who's going to compete in this world, who's going to put their feet in this competitive world, they have got this responsibility to do it. You and me are the person who's going to shift, who's going to make this thing a lie. We are the outliers. That's what we are going to do. The next thing is like, I don't want to get into sales because I am from operations, I am from HRs, I am from commerce, I am from CS. Okay, I agreed that you are from different shift, but just try to understand. There is a place where you have got 10 chapatis and got only two persons to feed. And then on the other hand, you have got 10 chapatis, you have got 100 peoples to feed. Now tell me, where is the struggle? To this side or to that side? Majority of the people would say to that side. Exactly, that happens because there aren't many opportunities into operations. There aren't any good opportunities or big opportunities in numbers as in operations, as in systems, as in accountancy, as into clerical job, as into cashiering. And that's why it has completely occupied that space, but there is a space left out for you. What is the best part? To get to something that is already overcrowded, where you don't stand a chance, where there's cutthroat competition, or this side where you have got ample opportunities, ample things. Majority of the people would say to the left hand side, and that is what I want to say. Don't create that kind of an circle where you say that no, I'm constrained to this place, this is my place, this is my niche. No, boss, this is the time where you have to explore. And we are going to talk more about sales and how sales is a lucrative profession. We're going to talk to it later onwards. But have I answered to all these myths that is there in front of you, Sumit? And you might have heard a lot of them.
Yeah, it's,
You might have heard of
eh,
all this from your near and dears, from your friends and from your family members. You might have got cheated somewhere down the line.
the someone I heard that.
You might get call from people that, sir, we are from XYZ bank, would you like to have credit cards? And then suddenly they started chasing you everywhere on the Facebook and on LinkedIn, on every social platform. And then you might have got scared because of that. It
Yeah,
happens.
exactly. It
It
happens.
happens.
Yeah, yeah. If there is a reality or fact, there is a myth.
Exactly, and not all fingers are the same of are the same size.
Hmm. Sure. Yeah. So with that, people take this sales as a career. So how can people should take or can take it the sales as a career?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Very nice question. Very nice question. Very relevant question, I would say rather. Sumit, thank you for bringing this question on. Well, the answer to this question is very simple. Here is a very small thing in front of you. Only 20% of graduates would consider a role in sales job. Why graduates don't want to get into sales? Because it's high pressure, it's competitive, got lack of creativity, it's boring. They don't want to cold call people, they want to don't want to get talking to the strange people. So these are what the challenges in front of us at this point in time. But the thing is, like, as you have asked this question, that how is sales important, and how can people take sales as a career? See, this is what is the sales revenue. Every sales revenue formula is the number of units sold into the average sales price per unit. And that means if you start shifting or increasing any one thing, is any one comma in any one value on this formula, the other value is going to get is going to start shooting at its peak. So this is what. And the thing is, like, see, the high potential, this is one of the research, this is one of statistics, that the high potential annual wages is about more than 16 1 lakh $60,940. This is what is the size. So this is the wage. This is the average wage of the people who are into sales, the sales representatives. So this is the avenue in front of us. And now the only question to us at this point in time is how can people take sales as a career? So they can take the career because you have got this big number in front of you. If you want to sales is the job we are going to get the right revenue and a lot of incentives, because this is the only place where you are able to make incentives and incentives as per your performance. So if you just increase your performance, you're going to start shooting, you're going to start increasing your incentives. And once you start increasing your incentives, there is no way you can stop. So this is the only profession I know where you can create money as per your wish. You can be employed, you can be under employment of somebody, but then you can make the money you want to. This is the way people can, take sales as a career. Yeah, Sumit. Yeah, Sumit. Please tell me.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Sumit, I said, have I answered your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we move to the next question, Sumit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there is a question from a guy or a attendee. He is asking that focusing on the fourth point, most of the sales motivation video available on the YouTube, they says that stop selling, start closing. So how to close retail or deals? May I repeat?
Wow. Great, great. No, I've got the question right. It was bang on target.
Yeah.
See, as I told you, we have to go back to the basics. If you remember, and the person who's asking this question, if you remember the principles that we talked about, the first principle is if you want to close more, you have to get more referrals. And how can you get more referrals? By meeting more people and by helping them, by making a positive shifts in your life. So once you want to close, you got to increase the number of people you influence. I've already told them. And how would you increase the number of people? By meeting larger number of people. So the number of people you meet is directly proportional to the number of people you influence. And the larger the number you influence, the larger referrals you get. The more number of referrals you get, the more sales you make. That means the more close you make. Are you getting my point? So we have to go back to the basics. If you want to close more,
Hmm.
if you want to if you want to materialize your efforts, the only thing is by increasing the number of people you influence, by helping them, by making positive shifts in their life. Once you start focusing on that, the later automatically increases. Have I answered the question, Sumit?
Yeah, yeah.
So there is
Yeah.
no shortcut. So there is no shortcut, Sumit. I don't have a
Hmm.
medicine. I don't have a pill in front of me that okay, take this pill, go to that person, and make him to get to gulp this pill, to have this pill, and then suddenly he will start giving you the he will give you starting he will start giving you the clients, business opportunities. I haven't got anything like that. And the people who are telling you that there is a secret formula to it, sorry guys, there is no secret. There is no secret formula. There is no secret formula. You got to make positive shifts in people's life. The more you give, the more you get, is what the law says. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has to be you. If you make positive causes, positive shifts, you are going to get positive results. And I told you it's all about referrals. So the more number you
Hmm.
touch, the more you people you make a positive shift in their life, the more people get influenced by you, you get the more referrals, and that more referrals give you more referrals, more referrals, more referrals, and ultimately this is where we must have patience. People come into sales, get training, go into the field, get rejections, get back. They have not never got that training. They have never been trained to make a mindset of a salesman. They don't have the mindset, they don't have the software, but they want to run the supercomputer. Sumit, let me ask you a question. Can you run a supercomputer before having that thing in your mind? Before you get it into your mind, can you run a supercomputer?
No, no.
So, no, the same thing is like, don't have that software, don't have that mindset, there's no mental attitude, there is no ethics, values, and character traits. Without that character traits, without that ethics, without that values, because every company has got line. If they charge 10 rupees, they have taken, if they have given value of 10 rupees, if they have taken 500 rupees, they have given you a value of 500 rupees. If they have charged 5,000 rupees, they are giving you the value of 5,000 rupees. Every single company that exists today have got valuable products, perfect products. Just only have to make the marriage of the product and the person by creating
Yeah.
positive shift in his life, by asking for referrals, and then referrals automatically closes.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
Smith.
truly said. Hmm. So with that, what are the types of sales come up?
Wow, I glad that you asked this
Yeah.
question. If you can see,
Hmm.
there are sales. There are two types of sales: B2B sales and B2C sales. So when there is a B2B sales, you are a business. There is somebody who is also running a business, and since he is running a business, he's had that volume. So you are playing a volume game. When you are into a business and you are meeting a customer, right? For example, say if you are having a big business, a business into energy and petroleum, say, and you are selling that thing to a petrol vendor, to a RO, a retail outlet person. You're selling, and he's into business. To a business, it's a B2B. But say you are a petroleum company, you have got your own retail outlets, and you're directly putting that oil, that fuels, into the customer's bike. This is B2C. So this is where it's all about the volume game. Whenever you're talking to a business, or one business is talking to another business, is talking about volumes. Whenever dealing with the customer, is talking about values. This is value game. This is volume game, and this is value game. Both are different. These are the two categories of sales. Sumit, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Joydeep. Yeah. If people take sales as a career, so there's a lot of opportunity came up. Yeah. So what are the some opportunities or growth opportunities with the sales? Yeah. Over to you.
I'm again glad that you brought this question, because people do feel that there isn't too much. If you are into sales, you're always being into sales. No, that's not the case. As I told you, what a salesperson do, this is what we have talked about. New customers, sells the present customers. He again, point comes, it's a long term relationship, solutions to the customer problems, service to the customer, service customer resells products to their customers, right? Here where the game of referrals comes. You build a goodwill with the customers, provide companies with the market information. To be very precise, you start with sales coordinator. Then some companies, the immediate next level is sales manager. Then the next level is associate sales director. Then the other steps comes where he becomes a senior sales director, then becomes the business development manager, then he becomes the vice president of sales, and finally I've seen so many people, so starting right from the bottom of the ladder and reaching to the CEO level. So this is what is it's all about. When you do it single handedly, people start seeing you, and then people start bringing you on, that you come and train our people. We want the same kind of sales revenue that you have created, the volume that you have created. How do you do that? And then you suddenly go to the sales manager roles, and then when you go into the sales manager role, there are people in under you. Then suddenly you go up the ladder, then you have a lot many sales managers under you. Then suddenly you become senior sales director, and then you have lot many associate sales directors under you. Then the business development manager, where you have lots of senior sales directors under you. Once you start doing something, see Sumit, there are two things: human worth and skill worth. Human worth is your values. I could really relate to one of the things that has happened with Sachin Tendulkar, the great cricketer of all times, the god of cricket, who still how we take him as a god of cricket. Once, one of the big Times of India editor interviewed Sachin Tendulkar, and he asked, "People loves you so much. People respect you so much. People love you." She said, "No, they don't love me. They love my skills, my force, my centuries. When I perform, when I play my cover drive, they love my cover drive. They love my straight drive. They love the kind of bowling I does, the kind of googly that I throw at batsmen, and I dismiss them by uprooting their stumps out of the ground." And that thing really struck me. Once you start making people start loving you for your skill worth, once you start making the volume games, the sales that the company expects out from you, when you start doing it, suddenly you see that people start shifting you to the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step. And let me tell you, the kind of money people make when they are at the top of their game, something valuable, something relevant to the when they were in that position of a sales coordinator or sales representative. This is how people get into the next zone and the next zone. Sumit, I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, surely. Thank you,
And I would like to,
Jolly. And
I would like to, Sumit, take your kind permission
hmm,
to
yeah,
all the people who are listening to me at this point in time, that there is no shortage of money, there is no shortage of tangible things that you're going to make. But sales is one of the things that has been unexplored. Sales is one thing that we are doing every now and then with our girlfriends, with our friends, with our colleagues, with our relatives, and we have been doing it superiorly. We are doing a superb job. But the only thing is, like, if you have the right mindset, if you have got the right value system, and if you know the game, it's easy to play. And once you start playing it, you get all the things in your life, the kind of a lifestyle you want, the kind of the incentives you want. So the invents this incentives really plays a very important role, and then they give you that recognition, that kind of glamour also. So it's a fantastic job. I mean, it's a fantastic job for the people who just are getting graduated and they want to get a job where they can work for their entire life. This is a kind of a even the biggest people of on this planet has started their career with sales. Great president of United States of America, Donald Trump, he was into the business of real estates. He has been doing this for the rest of his life. And even the great Abraham Lincoln always by the way, if you could watch the movie The Lincoln, you'll understand how he persuaded people to get, and how he got into that field, got into that career, and then how he became the president of the United States of America. Yes, Sumit, over to you.
Yeah, thank you for guiding us for this session. Actually, we are getting close to this time session. Is there any other last thing that you would like to give to the audience as a takeaway from this session?
The only takeaway is like, get into a job, land into a job where you can have all the ecstasies of life, where you can have the right money, you can have something for your parents and for your loved ones and the near ones. And this is one of the fields where you can make positive shifts in people's life and you can get benefited out of it. When you make businesses, when you make sales, you get incentives. And when you get incentives, you get the money. When you get the money, you get the liberty, and you get the freedom to take your lifestyle to a next level. And I've seen people making people who started from scratches and now they are at the vice president sales level or the business development manager. Some of them are the CEOs of the company at this point in time. And you know what kind of a money and what kind of a position is that? Responsible position, right, Sumit?
Right. Yeah. Great. Thank you, everyone. We'll appreciate to be here, and surely we will be coming with another session in the LinkedIn local chapter. So thanks again for joining us today's session. Yeah. See you next time.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Sumit. Thank you all.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day.
Yeah.
It was really a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Joydeep. Yeah.